Hello everyone, welcome to Hawkeye Trader's live presentation of Hawkeye Zones. Topic for today is simple concepts to significantly boost your profits. We're going to be presenting to you the new Hawkeye Zones software, and we have a special guest today. His name is Gabriel Brent. Gabriel Brent is a longtime friend of mine, a good buddy, a good Christian friend, and he's a dynamic speaker as well. But more than that, he is a technical trader. He is a programmer extraordinaire, and he is the author behind the Hawkeye Zones. He put them together and created them. But we are offering them to you guys tonight. We're going to go through a very short presentation on what the zones are, how they can be used in your trading to consistently give you significant profits, and how you can get your very own copy toward the end at a very, very good price. So, Gabriel, are you there today?
I sure am.
Thank you for
Can
being here.
everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, appreciate that. Oh, let's see if everyone can hear you.
Can everybody hear? All right, good deal.
All right, take it away.
All right, well, thank you so much, Randy, for that nice introduction. And thank you, everybody in attendance tonight. Really appreciate that. Or actually, I shouldn't say tonight, maybe morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started here. Want to cover some really basic ideas as to what we're looking at. They're nothing new underneath the sun, but they really are amazing to see this stuff play out in the markets day after day, month after month, year after year. So really cool stuff. So we're going to be talking a lot about price action and volume, support and resistance, supply and demand, all the above. So as always, remember with trading, there is substantial risk of loss. So I do encourage everybody to really test out your strategy in a sim account for the long term before putting any live money at risk in the market. So make sure you know what you're doing before you trade money at all. So with that being said though, let's go ahead and get into the zone theory, okay? Now, your economics teacher was actually a really, really smart person. I know it may have been boring, it may have like put you to sleep, you know, and probably don't remember this little graph here, but what we're really looking at is supply and demand and the shift of supply and demand over time. Okay, that's all it is. That's all we have here, folks. So, but in technical terms, what this is based off of is an understanding of price action and volume, and an understanding how supply and demand shift over time, and seeing supply become demand and support become resistance. All those types of things happen in our markets, whether you see it right now or not. That stuff is all happening behind the scenes for most people, and most people just are not aware, okay? But with this software, we actually capitalize on those ideas, okay? So all the zones that you see the red numbers here by, okay, those are all resistance or supply levels, okay? And all the numbers next to all the zones with the green text, those are all demand or support, okay? So as price comes and retests each one of these levels, so price is going to bounce off of it. So it's going to come down here to this brown zone and it bounces off of it. As that bounce happens, the zones actually change color over time. And the reason why we want to do this is so that we're able to keep track of how many times price is retested a level. Because the more times price retests a level, a lot of times the weaker and weaker it gets. But not all zones are created equally, so we really want to keep track of what's going on and why. Because this is like the hidden order flow. This is data mining of the markets. And we can data mine any market, any time frame, any type of chart that you can bring into our supported platforms, okay? All the colors are going to stay the same. all the settings are going to be roughly the same. We really want to create a system that is usable out of the box, okay? So you can just apply it to your chart and you can instantly see these levels, all right? Because when we talk about data mining, I don't know if you really understand what that term represents, okay? So we're using historical price action and volume data, okay? We are keeping track of those market events, all right, in real time on your chart, in your platform, on your computer, okay? So that in the present, we can see price responding to those levels, okay? And in the future, we can predict where price is going to go so that we can use this for an entry in the present, and in the future, we can use these levels as target zones, okay? So it really is a way to, in the most simple terms imaginable, to buy low and sell high, okay? So that's all we're trying to do. But if we have no idea where relative low is, where it's been historically for your market, or where that shift of supply and demand has happened over time, then we can't jump into the trend because we have no idea where those levels are. And this helps us see that hidden order flow, okay, through all these advanced techniques. So as you can see, we have some interesting things going on here. We have a purple zone, price bounces off of the purple zone. We see our little trend dot turn green, and boom, we're off to the races with the trend, you know, and we can add to the position there. And way up above, I don't know if you can see this or not, there's like a little yellow line. I can guarantee you that that's another zone up there. So let's look for that level up there for a potential target. Okay, so in order to break this concept down a little bit more, I don't know how many people here have heard of support and resistance and supply and demand, but I'm probably sure most people have heard of supply and demand, but what is support and resistance? How do we use it in context of all this stuff? So for all you nerds out there, like myself, this is the cool, neat little equation that I've come up with in order to classify these terms and how to put it all together in one nice, neat package, okay? So support and resistance plus time equals supply and demand. And so we're looking at how long the zone has lasted on your chart, okay? What time of day does price interact with that zone? Is it during a news event? Is it during the top of the bottom, or top of the hour, or bottom of the hour? Those type of things are what we really want to keep track of, all right? Because we want to avoid us buying high and selling low, you know? It's just something that if we can avoid us, you know, buying at the wrong times and selling at the wrong times, like, it just helps out a whole lot, you know, because we understand context. Really what this software is about is giving us context. It's that simple. We are identifying where is high, where is low. So you don't want to be buying in supply, you know. You don't want to be selling in demand, you know. But most people don't know where the levels are because they're not using this. And I can guarantee you one thing, a lot of institutions do. So it's really, really handy to be able to get and see the hidden order flow that's happening on our charts. So excuse me 1 second while I take a drink here. Okay, so we have a 60-minute time frame, a 15, and a 5. This is just kind of a context example of what we're looking at. Now, for people that are not in the know, this may seem very counterintuitive. And to be straight up and honest with you, it is a brutal trick, but it's a trick that we see happen quite a bit, okay? So on our multiple time frames, we can all see where this brown zone kind of lies in all of these levels here, okay? And if you're a price action person, and you pay attention to just how to read the bars, you'll see a double top, and we've just surged above the double top. Now, that usually means that you'll have a continued push to the upside, but this is why this trick was kind of mean, okay? Because even though they had the surge above the double top, they did not break the 60-minute level. They did not break this fractal time frame of confluence of supply being up in this area. Okay, instead price comes all the way back down. Okay, now I just think that's kind of interesting because we see this stuff happen all the time, and it traps a lot of people, and it's very unfortunate, but it's because people aren't paying attention to what history is telling us. I'm sure your history teacher probably told you, the past repeats itself, right? Well, this is how it does it in the markets. It's very important because it happens all the time. Now, the interesting thing is this actually happened at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, okay? And that leads us to our next big factor, which is time, okay? We're going to be looking at the same type of ideas, except now with time zones. So this is the Hawkeye time zones tool. Now, yes, it has made your charts look like a zebra. I will give you that. Maybe you have a little green stripe, I don't know, doggy tag or name tag or something there at the very front of the chart. But really what it's identifying is the tops and the bottoms of the hour. Okay? That is all. We're not worried about what news is coming out. We're not worried about so many other factors that may be playing into the analysis. We're just looking at what has happened at the top and the bottom of the hour. Can anybody tell me why that might be important? Because time of day is relevant. Yes, that's very true. Um, we are looking at these tops and the bottoms of the hour because guess what? We are creatures of habit. I know that's going to come as a surprise to you, but what time do you wake up every morning? What time do you eat breakfast every day? What time do you eat lunch? It usually stays pretty consistent, and either consciously or subconsciously, our markets do the exact same thing, okay? They are the reflection of us, of mass psychology, whatever you want to call it. It's absolutely uncanny how this stuff works, okay? So when we put all of those factors together, when we have context of time and price action, we can use this system to help us enter, and we could put the stop like where the little yellow line is or above the zone. We can short this market if you're in a futures or foreign exchange market. It's a little bit harder in the stocks and ETFs, but you can short the market and you can take it down as the market goes down. Then you can take it back up, and you could take it back down again because as price has shifted throughout time, we're keeping track of all of those important levels, and it's absolutely uncanny how that stuff happens. So as a trend develops, you'll see the time zones and the price zones all happen at one time, and it's absolutely uncanny. Okay, so we've talked a lot about using the system, using the zones for entries and for getting onto the trend move for entries, but we can also use the zones for targets, okay? Now, this is just my personal thinking on targets, but I like to take off a quick target at the first sign of support and resistance on my smallest time frame, okay? Second target I like to say is playing the range, which I usually play because I'm a day trader. I usually play this off of a 15-minute chart, okay? And the third target is more of a supply and demand type of target, Okay, so those are the types of targets that I like to use. And we've given kind of a reference down here of a little bit of a before and after look. And let's go ahead and like blow that up just a little bit here so that we can see exactly what that's looking at. Okay, so we're going to enter here after this zone has turned blue. Okay, we have price action leaving the newly formed zone, and we're just going to say that the trend direction is up. I just happen to know that just looking at this historical screenshot. Okay, so you could put your stop just below the line right there, or below the zone line right there, and that could be where our stop goes, or you could put it technically underneath the price action down there. Now, what these zones represent is basically like a high volume area, an area of high volume consolidation. Okay, that's what we're really going for with how these zones are formed. So if we know where consolidation is forming, we know that where we see consolidation, if it's not in an area of consolidation, then price should be expanding. So you can kind of see off of this yellow zone right there how price like just barely kissed that level, and then it took off to the downside with rapid expansion down. Okay, so by identifying just the simple ideas of consolidation and expansion and keeping these areas all intact, we're able to use this stuff for targets. Okay, because we're getting into a phase where the market should be expanding now. Because we've had a couple bounces off of this yellow zone, it's going to be weaker. Okay, so price is going to be easier to move through these levels. Okay, so we're going to use the the blue zone as our first target. And I like to take targets one tick outside of the level. Okay, that's just something that I've found that works for me over the years. And then you do first target there, second target there, and third target there. Now notice that I kind of voided, or I didn't really look very much at the yellow zones that were formed. Okay, and that's because they've been hit a couple times, so I don't really expect them to be as strong. Okay, and price just goes on through, so you can kind of see the before shot that we took, and then the after shot, and price just goes boop right on up there, and it kisses a zone and goes a little bit further on up, but then it comes right back down. Okay, now this trade worked out because we had a good understanding of where trend was. Okay, and it's only once that you're able to define trend that these zones really shape up very, very nicely. Okay, because not all zones are created equally. Okay, so if you're in an uptrend, these demand zones or support zones on our smaller time frame, all of those are going to hold, okay? While all the supply levels or the resistance zones are going to be breaking, okay? And especially on your smallest time frame, these are only resistance, okay? On the smallest time frame, this is only support zones, okay? Don't make all zones into more than what they are, okay? We need to make sure that we understand context before doing this stuff, all right? So that's really what we're looking at here, and really what I hope to convey in a very nice way. But the question is not how well did the zones do on this particular day, it's how well can they do today? How well did they do today? So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So Randy, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. I'm going to shift things over to you right now, and let's go take a look at what actually happened today.
Awesome. I've got some charts set up here. Let me make sure I show my screen over. Can you see my charts now? Okay, you should be seeing my NinjaTrader platform with some futures charts.
Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. I have the Russell set up today from today's markets. You can see on my 60-minute chart here, I've got the Hawkeye zones loaded, showing that we do have prior support and resistance lines both being brown. All three of these zones actually are brown, showing that they have been pummeled quite a few times as price is trying to decide where it's going to go. They have been range bound for a considerable amount of time, so you can see by scrolling back that the lower zone was formed right around the 7th of October. However, the upper zone has been there since the end of September, right here. So if you were to look forward in time, you can see those zones have been there for quite some time, and price has tested each one of these zones multiple times during that period. So whenever you see volume bar extending up into a zone, most people like to say the aggressive way is to take the short in the opposite direction of the trade whenever price is testing these supply zones. However, since the supply zone is already brown, we don't know if that brown zone is going to hold or if it's going to break through. So a more conservative entry would be to wait until the bar closes down outside of the zone in the direction of the reversal, or wait for the very first price bar to close open, high, low, and close outside of the zone in order to take that trade. Now I'm showing this with the rest of the Hawkeye software because most of the people attending this are Hawkeye users, but you don't have to be. You can purchase the zones all by themselves. So I'm going to pull up a brand new chart, and I'm going to show you how the zones are applied to the chart. Let's see, crude oil. I'll take crude oil for today. Looks like it's a 5-minute chart. I'll start 5 minutes and then we'll just go up from there. So you can take and apply the Hawkeye zones to the chart here. And I'll use all the defaults for now. And there you can see the zones that are applied to a 5-minute chart. It's a crude oil during the time for today. As you can see that the daily excursions have gone into and defined previous zones. A trend came back defining new zone direction, and then new zones that defined a channel. So this is basic application of what the zones do. Now if we were to go and put that on a much longer time frame, say 15-minute chart, then you can see the previous highs and lows of the zones that were enabled there. Longer term, we're on a downtrend, so you can see the prior supply zones, and now we're starting to get into some demand regions. Okay, now let's go into a little bit longer time frame, 60-minute. And
what I think is actually really interesting about that 15-minute chart that you're on was just if you look at the past 3 zones that have been created, then a lot of times you'll actually see where the trend is.
Yeah.
So if the 3 most newest zones that are created in one direction really tend to lead towards trend in a major way. And looks like you have a problem with your bars there, my friend.
I did something. I thought I formatted
fat bars.
I put a number. Oh, bar width. I thought I was changing my.
You got the fat bar indicator going on there, huh?
That's good. Let's see. Yeah, here. Let's do 30 days. There, that's better.
Yeah. So
I can move those bars back down again. There. So what? I missed everything that you said because I was doing a switch over.
Oh, I was just saying that the most recent 3 zones that are created kind of in a row usually tend to lead to a trend direction very nicely.
Yeah, that's true. And that's exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But we've also had a request to see some Forex markets here too.
Okay, I can do that right now. Here is a Euro-Yen pair. This is today's Euro-Yen, so these are live edge of the market charts. Here's the current 60-minute chart showing the supply and demand zone for the day's trading. Okay, so you can see the supply zone that was previously formed, the 11th, okay, has held through. You can see today not a lot of action. It was just basically trending up most of the day, creating new demand zones. We got a supply zone here with a channel that is sandwiched in between, but you can see the target, if this upper zone is hit, gives us the top side. If 136 breaks, then we are going to be targeting 136.70. And the nice thing I like to do with these multiple time zones is to see where is that upper side zone at. And so I'll place a rectangle, there it is right there, around this zone right here, just to give me an idea of where that zone is on this chart. And then I can see now on the other charts, my 5 minute here for example, if I were to scrunch this down, then I can see there it is right there. I know that this 5 minute chart has to roll all the way up to this point right here to be in line with my 60-minute zone. Now if I wanted to, I could apply the zones onto any of these charts to see if I have confluence at that level or not based upon that zone. So I'll do that real quickly. Okay, so there are the zones. You can see the levels for a 5 minute chart, but if we were to look at this and zoom this up to the previous level right there, right here, now you can see where the 60-minute target zone is, and so it's going to have to go through quite a few 5-minute zones in order to get to this zone right there. And that zone is a much stronger zone because you can see it is in the same area that the hourly zone is in. But for your shorter term trading, you can see a 5 minute zone. We can see that with 60-minute zone and this 5 minute zone also are in confluence areas, and so there's a potential for this zone to hold as well.
We're getting a few questions about whether this software is more for day trading or swing trading. I would say both. I used it for both. Just kind of a point in case. I don't know if you have silver up there or not, Randy, but I actually have been doing some silver trading here lately.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have silver, just out of curiosity?
What time frame do you want to see it?
Let's do daily.
All right, got it. All right.
We're going to show you the big time frame.
Do you want silver futures or silver ETF?
Futures is fine.
Okay. Is that on 12 yet?
Yep, 12 to 15. So we can actually look back roughly 7 years on our daily. So let's go back and push the time frame back to 7 years or 5,000 days.
Okay.
And it made me just having this analysis and being able to go back to 2009 and look at levels was really awesome because it led to a great buy opportunity that's already paid off almost from the very first day. So that was pretty awesome. So. And that's just because we have context, you know. I have a 7-year context that most people don't see. So I think that's really cool.
Trade station while we're waiting on the data to load, so I don't want to bore anybody with my data loading. Once it loads, I'll pop back to silver. So hold your thought there, if you don't mind.
Oh,
Let me
absolutely.
see if I can pull it up here real quick. Here. How many years back do you say? 7?
7 years.
Okay. All right.
There you go. So you see the bounce down there at 1420 something.
This one here or this one?
Yeah, well, actually, that one was more important to me,
Mm-hmm.
just because price was saying that it was failing to go lower.
Mm-hmm.
So led to a very nice buy opportunity that's price is now rocketed up to the next $16 level.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. So that also answers the question, is this just for day traders? As you can see, the application to a daily or even a weekly or monthly chart is still very applicable. And I'm demonstrating it on the TradeStation platform now as opposed to the NinjaTrader platform, which I was showing earlier. If you're looking at it in the tick charts, someone was asking earlier, can we use this in conjunction with Hawkeye's gear box, which is the tick speed optimizer? And as you can see right here, absolutely is the answer. When you're setting up and using these tick charts, then you can use the gears along with your Hawkeye zones to get optimized tick chart speeds for the markets that you're looking at trading. And you can do the exact same thing in the Forex market too. If you're using the Forex tools to optimize your speeds, then you can apply the zones to the charts to see exactly where supply and demand are for the market that you are trading and be able to trade accordingly.
So I had a quick question about the width of the zones. The width of the zones are dynamic, just so everybody knows. They are dynamic to what price, what your market tells us they should be. Unfortunately, the market's going to do what the market's going to do, and we have to be obedient to what price action and market participants are telling us these zones should be. So all the zone width is, every single zone is potentially a different size based all upon market volatility.
All right, someone's asking about MT4. We were hoping to have it completed by today, but yet again, I'm sad to say that we're not quite ready for MT4. We're working on it, but we're not quite ready for delivery yet. We don't want to deliver something that's not ready, because that just creates more problems. It's just not quite ready yet, but hopefully soon it will be. So if you hang in there, you'll be able to see that. All right, we were looking at Disney earlier because you know, Star Wars is coming back out again, and we're looking at the big price run up in expectation that Disney, who bought out Lucas Arts, is going to be doing quite well from that. But a lot of people are thinking, well, maybe the price has already been built into it. I don't think so. But notice that the price is coming right up into a brand new, very wide aqua zone right here of price right around the 110 area. Gabriel and I were talking just before the session today, saying that was a really good place for a reversal to get price back down to a place that looks like a much better entry point to get into that. So looking at this as a potential money bounce and reversal point, we might be looking for a correction back to 103 or even around 100 to get a much better entry into a December or later release of the new Star Wars. So I think that's also a good play. All right. Before we go in anymore, I think we've been able to show quite a few examples. So let's get back to our presentation and get this thing shorted out. And then I will stay as long as you need afterwards to answer any further questions, okay? All right, so what's included? So if you purchase Hawkeye Zones today, then you will get the software, Hawkeye Zones. You also get the Hawkeye Zones time. In addition to that, you'll get access to our main Hawkeye membership site, where you'll get full documentation, training videos, and access to our 3-hour live Thursday training room. All right, so every single week for 3 hours we give you live training in addition to that. And we train not only on the Hawkeye zones, but any of the other Hawkeye tools relative to that. Okay? So today we're making that not $1,000, which is the normal price, but today we're giving you 50% off. If you purchase today, for at the rate of only $4.97. So there's the link for the price, $4.97. And let me put that in for you right now. Right there. I've given you the link in the chat box. And that way you'll be able to see that. Yes, Andy, if you want to go ahead and purchase now for the MT4, we're going to be getting that out hopefully before the end of the month, but not required. So, but yes, you can go ahead and do that to get your discount, and we'll be glad to swap you over to your MT4 at a later date at no charge, absolutely no charge to you. Absolutely. So, Hawkeye Zones. Hawkeye Zones time, all the users' documentation, the videos, access to all of our training room, $4.97. There's the link, HawkeyeTraders.com/zones to get started today. Put that in one more time in the chat box there. You'll be able to see that. Yes, the same license applies. It is licensed for 2 PCs. You do not have to own any other Hawkeye software or the Hawkeye system in order to run the zones. Like I showed you earlier, you can apply the zones to a single chart without any other software loaded on it whatsoever. But the advantage is that using Hawkeye software with the zones gives you the extra edge that you're really looking for. And yes, C, you can wait until MT4 comes out before you buy that. Absolutely not a problem. Yes, you will because we were wanting to release them today. You'll still be able to get the zones when the MT4 is released at today's price. We will hold that for you. If you were part of today's webinar, we will hold that for you. We do not have any plans at the moment making it available for Thinkorswim. However, we are talking with them about getting our software onto that platform. But at the moment, we don't have it available on Thinkorswim. What a lot of our Thinkorswim users are doing is using the free version of NinjaTrader, and the zones loaded on NinjaTrader work beautiful on the Thinkorswim data when linked to your NinjaTrader platform. So that's a good solution. We're not going to be discounting the zones any less than the price that you see today. So when the MT4 comes out later on, it will be the regular market price, but if you guys were part of our webinar today, then we'll give you the discounted price for it. Yes, we will. Support@HawkeyeTraders.com is our support. So if you purchase or need help, then send us an email to support@HawkeyeTraders.com. If you are using TradeStation 9.5, then there is a graphics problem associated with the zones that they will always extend to the left. So that's why we recommend that you only use TradeStation 9.1 until TradeStation can work out the bugs with the software. So if you're using TradeStation, make sure you stick with 9.1 on that. Absolutely, Ken. He wants to know, does the training videos teach how to use the software and the zones? Let me give you a very quick example of that. Let me pull back over here real quick. Okay. If you move over to the Hawkeye Traders website, once you become a member, then you'll get access to the Hawkeye Traders members area. If you want to know where that is, you just simply go to HawkeyeTraders.com, and then over under the members area, you click on the Premier Members area. That's where you get access to all the software. Once you log into this area, then your software is located under the Products menu. Just simply look for Zones module. Product Videos has all of your zones videos, so that gives you all the information about how to use and how to read the zones. And the information, the documentation, is located here with your download. So everything is available here. In addition, you get to sign up for all of our training rooms, and you get access to all of the pre-recorded video training content on all of the software. They're both for NinjaTrader and for TradeStation, so you have documentation for whichever platform that you purchase. We do not have any trial periods. This is our demonstration, so there's no try before you buy. I'm here to demonstrate for you and to show you what they look like and how they'll run on your platform. But we do not have any trial periods, sorry. Some people have problems with 9.5 with the zones drawing the wrong direction. You can see right here the zones always draw to the right of price, but on TradeStation 9.5 there's a bug that causes the zones to draw to the left. Many users who have it do not have a problem at all, but many do have a problem. So that's why we recommend that you stick with 9.1 until TradeStation can work out the problems with the software. The 9.5 is still not a release version. It's a release candidate. So 9.5 is not even a full release yet. And so TradeStation knows it's a problem. It's a problem with many vendors. I do too, John. Rick, I'm not sure. I've not used it with case bars. I've never really looked at case bars before, so you might need to practice with that yourself. But yes, the idea is the same because the areas are based upon price action and volume. If you have tick bars, then like I showed you before, the tick charts are basically like volume bars in essence. And so if you were to use a modified tick chart like a Renko or a case, then you should be able to see the exact same representation on price bars. Yeah, then you won't have a problem with that because it works quite well with range bars. All right, I'll enter the zones purchase link one more time in the chat area. There you go. Alberto, thank you very much. To re-download the software and access to the software, then all you need to do is just go back to the membership area and look under products, and you'll be able to see the most recent version of Hawkeye Zones right there. Then you'll be able to download it and install it onto your system with all the most recent updates. And all the extras I described are also all there and available for you. Okay, the cost is $4.97. Let me get that back up for you again. There it is. Yep, Jim says TradeStation 9.5 is working just fine for him. So is Jahan. He is saying it's working perfectly for him. But it doesn't work for me.
Well, that is actually news.
Yeah, it is news.
Because I've never got that to work.
I've not got it to work either, but obviously a lot of people are. So it's coming and going.
So I guess now the answer would be I can neither confirm nor deny that it works on version 9.5.
We're wrapping this down, so if you have any other questions, please enter them now. If we have not gotten to your question because of the number of people in the room today, please repeat your question if you really need us to answer it, and we'll hang around to answer those questions. And Gabriel is going to help me answer most of these questions as well.
Yeah, I'm going through the list trying to answer all your guys' questions, so sorry if I haven't been talking very much. I've just been typing away. And thank you guys for all these questions. You guys have been keeping me really busy. I feel like I'm becoming quite the typist now. It's pretty crazy.
Thomas had asked about the zones time. If you already installed your software, then the Hawkeye Zones time is already part of your installation. So if you just look under your indicators, you should be able to see a Hawkeye Zones time indicator just after your Hawkeye Zones. Mac wants to know if you can put it on 2 computers.
Yeah.
We make it available for both a PC or a laptop, your home PC or laptop, your home computer or your work computer. So we do enable you to install it on more than one computer, yes.
Okay, so real quick to answer your question, see about the zones on lower time frames. Basically, on lower time frames, what you're looking at is the zones represent support and resistance. Okay, so if your overall trend move is up, all right, your support zones are going to hold, whereas your resistance zones are going to break more easily. Okay, because your trend is going to slash right through those levels. All right, so that's why we say like not all zones are created equally. We still have to define trend, and so I hope that helps a little bit on answering that question. I've seen that question a few times, but we use the confluence of the multiple time frame fractal to help identify major reversal points a lot, but we really want to make sure that we're always running with trend because, well, the trend is your friend, and we like friends in trading. So I hope that helps, see, to answer some of those questions because really all we're trying to do is identify the high volume nodes in the market and keep track of those. And as they shift over time, a lot of times they reform at about the same area. And we keep track of all those for you so that we can easily see how the market is shifting over time. So it's really, really cool. I know that there was also a question about the time zones going on. And the time zones are only for day trading. And I really recommend that you use them on like a 5-minute chart or less, or maybe like a tick chart or range chart. But those are only for day trading because what we're looking at there is for price action and the time zones and the price zones all to meet. So we have 3 things of confluence going on just by having 2 indicators applied to your charts. And so when price actually bounces off of a support zone, you can easily buy it with trend and take it to the trend direction. So I think that's really, really cool.
All right, Mike, I pulled up the daily, weekly S&P 500 for you to be able to see that. Johan wants to know what dead zones are.
So dead zones are basically the market's keeping track of that flip-flop of price action as it happens through time. Okay, so you'll see a couple of the dead zones appear, and that's all that we're keeping track of is where have these volume areas been. where has the consolidation areas happened, to maybe put it in a more simplistic idea. And we're keeping track of those areas for us so that we can see how they move throughout time. So I have another question here. How do you handle zones that overlap since they signal a big tug of war in price? So the only reason why a zone would overlap another zone is if it supports overlapping resistance. Okay, so in that scenario, I recommend that we look at where is the overall trend direction, and that will tell you which one's probably going to win the tug of war. Okay, look at the trend, because the trend is your friend, and when you see the overlap of the zones, that means that you're going into tight consolidation, or you're going into like a range market. Okay. So look at where the most recent 3 zones have been formed. That will give you an indication of trend overall. And then when it gets all tight and consolidated, then you can look to see like, hey, where's the trend at? I know the trend's been in this direction, therefore this zone will probably win.
Right. All right, there's another question about after you purchase, how do you get the software? All right, let me show you a very good example of that. Okay. After you purchase, you will be sent an email with a link with your user login and password information to log into the members area. If you do not receive that email, it's very important you do, then make sure you contact us at support@hawkeyetraders.com and we will give you your login information. But basically, you click on the Premier Membership area and it will take you to a page that will ask you for that login information. Once you log in, then under the Products menu, this is where you download your software. But first you need to go to your My Account menu and make sure that you enable the software to run on your computer. To do that, if you have a NinjaTrader, then you need to enter your NinjaTrader machine ID right here in this form and click the Submit button. Then you'll go back to the Products, go to your Zones module page, and if you have NinjaTrader, then you will see the NinjaTrader download information here. You'll be able to download the installation guide if you need help installing it. Go through the instructions to download your zone. Here's the link for your downloading it, and here is your user's manual right here. So read through the information that's available, make sure you don't miss anything, and make sure that you follow the directions for the download. And for any other videos for training purposes, then you just simply go under the product videos, go to the zones videos, and then just go down. You'll be able to see several different videos have been put together on data mining, on the indicators themselves, any price targets, setups, confirmations, and putting it all together from entries to exits and so forth. So we've got a whole list of training videos set up for you to be able to use that. Okay? So Dick, did that answer your question? Good. Let us know if you need the information to log into the members area, and we will be glad to send it back to you. No, we do not have a daily trading room with a moderator. No, we do not. We just have a training room that we hold every Thursday. If we're not doing any on-demand training or anything, then we will trade, but most of the time we do that. Yes, John, there are videos for TradeStation as well. All right, Janetta, I'll see you on Thursday then. Awesome. Janetta, it's great to see you. Thank you. All right, if you do have any questions or comments, then again, please send your comment or question to support@hawkeyetraders.com, and we'll be glad to get to them. Gabriel, Mac wants a quick demonstration on how to day trade the time zones.
Sure, we can do that. Let's bring up a chart,
Okay.
and you probably need to do the NinjaTrader version.
Okay. Sounds good. You want me to give you the organizer?
Sure.
You want to show it on your computer, or you want me to show it on mine?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do it on mine.
Okay. There you go. I am still recording this. I'm going to record for about 5 more minutes, and then I'll stop it and finish answering the questions after that. I'm going to put the link to purchase the zones in the chat area one more time for those of you who are still looking for that. Richard, thank you for showing up. Yes, it is being recorded. Gabriel's just fixing to go through a quick demonstration on the time zones.
Just 1 second, guys. Just gonna do a couple little things here. And all right. So let me open this up a little bit for you guys here. So this is like a 1 minute time frame, okay? And as we're coming along here, what we're really looking for is stuff like this to be forming, okay? So we see consolidation happening in our price zone with the time zone highlighted, and this is on like a 1 minute time frame, just so that you have some idea of context. And when all that happens, you can see like from today, like we drew a little blue line to say, hey, we know that if price gets above this little candle here, then we're looking for price to come on up to the upside. And well, it crossed above the blue little line and it soared. So that's always a pretty cool thing to see happen there. So, and again, you can do this on any market out there. It's nothing special. It's just this is just for day trading. The time zones are really just for day trading. So that's the only thing that I would recommend. So we're looking for price to be retesting these areas here at our times of day. So just right around there, and that's kind of how that works. So, and you'll see, like, not all the time is this confluence going to happen, and that's okay. We don't need it to happen all the time. In fact, I don't want it to happen all the time because I'd rather have the really good trades throughout the day than I would have just kind of junk trades. I don't want to have everything look good. I'm trying to declassify trades. Dequalify them whenever I can. So this is just a simple tool that helps me say, hey, a lot of times we're creatures of habit, therefore the institutions are creatures of habit as well. They're going to be doing the same types of things. They're going to be doing the retracements, the extensions, all that type of stuff at the time of day. So if I can just ride their coattails, that's pretty cool. Okay, so time of day means that on the indicator, we basically take a 7-minute period of time at the top and at the bottom of the hour. Okay, you see like 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, so on and so forth. Okay, so as well as the first 15 minutes, there's a 3-minute period of time around there. What we're looking for is price to be making these major moves at these times of day. Okay, no matter what market you're on, if you're looking at a day trade chart at all, it'll work. Okay, so we can go to ESYM, futures, stocks, Forex, whatever. That's the type of stuff that we're looking to have happen at these given times of day. So I hope that helps explain. And it's just highlighting a 5 to 7 minute period of time on both sides of the top and the bottom of the hour. That's all we're looking at. The green stripe here, this is just for the first 15 minutes, so it only highlights 3 minutes right around that time. That's what that represents. And again, the time zones, the price zones are all put together in the Hawkeye package. So I hope that helps clear things up a little bit.
Last few questions that are remaining at this point. We'll go ahead and answer those. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and